Here is another viewer-inspired video. The individual wanted to know how they could make a step a little longer. And I just kind of want to go over a couple of things here in the video. Show you how you can make the step longer, and then show you some of the reasons why the building inspector, the building codes, might not consider this to be a longer tread, even with a nosing on it. So here we have an 11-inch long tread, and the tread measures from the face of the tread above, face of the step. So if this was to protrude out, we'd be measuring from that, which you'll see here in a little bit. But here it's going to be from the face of this to the face of the next one here. So this is where it might get confusing. If I add an inch overhang to every step, I still have an 11-inch tread run, individual tread run. This is what the building department's looking for. The face of the farthest projection to the face of the farthest projecting step below. So if I put a framing square on here, 1-inch overhang all the way up. If I put a framing square, and this is the best way I could really describe this. Now I will put a link in here to what the building department usually wants, or what the building code requires. But you can see here, if I just took a square and set it up here and shoved it up to the face of the nosing, and then measured from the face of this is the measurement that I'm going to be working with. If there was no overhang, I would be working from this point here to this point here, which is going to give me the same tread. So sometimes by making the tread a little longer, it's going to provide your foot with a little more surface area to walk up and down the stairs, which could be a very good thing for somebody. But it's not going to be the measurement that the building inspector is going to be looking for. So I just need to point that out. Now, in hopes of making it a little easier, I'm going to insert what I'm going to be calling a step calculating block. And this is just simply a block that's going to measure 11 inches and 7¼ inches. And then I'm going to spread them out evenly. So this would represent the step. And this, of course, would be the measurement that the building inspector, the building code books, will be referencing, the overall individual rise and the overall individual run. And we can see here where it's all equal, all the same, all the way up. We don't have a problem. We've extended the length of the step by 1 inch by adding a nosing to the entire stairway. So this is what the stairway would look like with a 12-inch wide step and an 11-inch individual tread run. So just take a look at it there. This, we have not increased the individual run on the stairway. We've only increased the depth of the stair tread or the stair step. But this is what it would actually need to look like if we wanted to increase the individual tread run by an inch. We would actually need to add 1 inch to each step, working our way down. So here we have, if you remember, we had a 12-inch wide step with an 11-inch tread run, and we would need to add an inch to that. So here we would have a 13-inch step. Here we would need 14 inches, 15 inches, 16 inches, and 17 inches in order to increase the individual step run from 11 inches to 12 inches. So let's go ahead and put our blocks in here. And I haven't moved them. I just left them in their original position. And you can see here where this one here lines up at the top. But these are starting to change because we're adding an inch, 2 inches, 3 inches, 4 inches, and 5 inches to the stairway. So hope this makes sense. Again, that's why I put my little blocks in there. So 1 inch, 2 inches. Again, the face of the tread to the face of the lower tread is what the stair inspector is going to be measuring when they measure the individual tread run. And hopefully it makes a little more sense when we see our little measurement blocks here. Instead of having an 11-inch tread run, we now have a 12-inch or a 1-foot tread run going all the way down the stairway. So keep in mind that this, just adding an inch to each step, might make the stair tread wider, easier to step on. But if the overall effect is to make each one of the stair steps a little wider, then you're going to have to increase each one of their steps, each one of the sizes, in equal increments. And then you will need to fill in these areas accordingly to create some type of a functional stairway and provide some support underneath each one of the tread overhangs. So again, we added an inch to the tread. We're going to need to put a 1-inch filler board in here. Next up, we'll need to put 2 inches. So you can always use a let's say a 2x6 or a 2x8 and rip it down to size, and then a piece of 1/2-inch plywood. You don't need to find 2 1-inch boards. For 3 inches, we have 2 2x6s, let's say, 2.5-inch members, pieces of lumber. Here we have a 1-inch board and then our 2.5 inch. So here we have 4 inches. And then at the bottom, we would need 5 inches. And to do that, I just simply put an 1.5 inch, a 1-inch, 1.5 to 1 inch. And hopefully this makes sense, or at least you can make some sense out of it, or enough sense to actually fix your stairway if this is something that you're interested in doing. So that's it for the video. Any questions, comments, leave them in the comment area and I will answer them as soon as possible.